but it is 6 o'clock. So let's begin. I haven't heard from Mr. Medeiros. This is the, by the way, this is the Permanent Building Committee for those of you who've joined us on Zoom. There is no correspondence because I haven't heard from Bob. Mark, do we have any minutes?
No, I just got back.
Okay. So let's do that for next month. Okay, so we will begin the meeting and we'll start off with Matt on the school department.
Excellent, thank you. Hi, everyone. So let's start with train. Train is kind of slowing down at this point in time. We've kind of done everything that we can do in occupied buildings. The middle school has its new boilers in. There's a new boiler at the Yale that's up and running. We're kind of troubleshooting that and balancing that one out. The other two boilers at the Yale, we're kind of limping through the season, hoping to get ourselves into spring so that we can just get that last little bit out of them.
So three out of 5 then?
Total buildings or total? So we have 3
total
boilers. We have 3 boilers at the Yale. We replaced 1, and the other 2 are steam units. So we're waiting till this summer. We're going to go as soon as we can. We're going to start tearing through those and get those turned over in the summer. LGN, we're working on that one right now, putting that boiler in. JCS, we are going to hold off until, again, after once the building's not occupied. In JCS, we did find a little bit of asbestos inside the actual boiler itself of the old boiler. So we just want to hold off until we don't have students in the building to break that down. It's still running pretty good. So we know we're pretty confident we'll get through the season and then have the new boiler installed. And the solar, we had National Grid reach back out to us, needed to do a further interconnection study. The total cost of that is for JCS, it's $9,800. And then for the high school, middle school, and the Yale combined is $19,900. So a total of $29,700 to do a further interconnection study on the solar. We are able to take the rebates and use that to pay that. So Norton's not going to have to cut a check for those interconnection studies, but it does have an effect on the project by lowering those rebates a little bit. Still, solar is going to be a fantastic project. It's going to really save us a lot of money and help out the schools quite a bit. So everything else is just for train is going to just push off, and then we'll get the big push this summer and get the rest of it all completed at that point when we have students out of the building. Fields, we have the 90% drawings. We've gone to conservation on the field project. They had us do a peer review. That was an additional cost of $4,700 for the peer review, and then another about $5,000 for Gail to participate in the peer review. So there's an additional cost of about a little over $10,000 on that. So we just received the peer review results about 45 minutes before the conservation meeting this week. So we weren't able to do any reporting on it. So that's been moved off to the 24th for a vote.
And what is the Conservation Commission's feelings so far? Do we know?
I know that they do have some concern over crumb rubber, and they want us to explore alternate infills, which we are currently exploring all the different infills that you can use for a project. Of course, every infill that you use, they all have a different cost over what we were planning on using with the crumb rubber. I know they aren't as keen on the crumb rubber, that they did communicate that on Monday night. We will definitely be looking at all the infills to see what is the most, the best value and the safest for the school district to use.
Now, is this just infields or is it the football field also?
Yeah, it's the 2 turf fields. So it's when you put the turf down, the infill material you use to kind of keep the grass standing up and kind of soft.
Infill. I'm sorry. Infill. I thought you said infield.
I know. Zoom is wonderful, isn't it? Mm-hmm. My apologies. Infill. Yeah. So, crumb rubber is the most common, used in most of the fields, I think, across Massachusetts. And then there are a number of different alternative infills, the cocoa husk, different kind of like engineered wood products, silica. So there's a lot of different options to look at and to try and understand what the differences between all of them are.
Okay, Jim, you had your hand raised.
Gotta unmute myself, I guess. I didn't want to interrupt Mark if Mark was done.
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, I'll give a biased opinion. It's only my opinion. The Conservation Commission meeting went horribly. There are only 6 people on the committee. There are 3 people that are adamant. And when I talk adamant, if somebody donated the field, they would not take it. They are strictly, no matter how many studies you do, all they care about is the negative studies. They won't mention any of the positive studies. I don't know how the National Football League spends 5 days a week on artificial turf and the unions haven't brought up all the stuff these people have brought up. But I was talking with Sherry Cohen today with some feelings that I had about it. And it seems 2 of the members, and the chairman tries to stay as neutral as possible. But if you deal with people at all, you can tell that he's not on the positive side. Let's put it that way. And if 3 of them are opposed and there's only 6 people, they'll go to the full hilt no matter what happens. They want the coconut. They don't want the crumb. Somebody mentioned Wheaton College, and they said, first they mentioned other towns, and they said they don't care what other towns do. In fact, Sharon had put in a brand new field this year, so would have had the current studies, but I guess the people in Sharon aren't intelligent enough as we are as far as synthetic fields go. So I was suggesting to Sherry that maybe we change the direction that we go. I know the people at Yale, I believe, are going to present to the school committee or the field committee the alternatives, but the alternatives are going to cost more money. And we all know the Conservation Committee. And again, this is my personal bias, and all you people who want to send stuff to me, go ahead. I don't read it. The Conservation Commission has already cost us money with the Cumberland Farms, with the poor guy that owns the music studio down on 123. Now they're going to cost us money for the athletic fields, which all the experts say is what we need and what is right. But this is Norton, and we don't listen to experts. So I was suggesting that maybe we just change our plan, but you know Sherry, she's a fighter, and she wants to dig her heels in and wants me to start making snowballs, and we'll see what happens. But I don't think it went well. I don't think they're going to change their mind no matter how much effort and expense we go into or they go into to convince them. And the thing that scares me is the peer review thing costs the school department or whoever $4,700. What is it going to cost us in our 2 projects? Also, where was I going with this? The other thing is I'm worried about where the community center sits next to the reservoir. They will be jumping up and down because God knows what's in the land there and what'll happen about that. And they may hold up that project for a couple of years. And the feeling I got, again, my personal opinion, is they don't care what it costs the town. So if it costs us another $3 or $4 million to delay this, that's my real opinion. No longer, if the more you delay this, the higher the cost, and they don't really seem to care. They are jumping on their high horse and doing whatever they do. But I think it's, this is a prime example of what we got to look forward to, I think, in the future for our next 2 projects, even though one sits on town property and the other one sits on a fairly big lot of land. I think for some reason somebody will raise a red flag and we'll be back at the Reed and Barton situation again. That's my personal opinion.
Thank you for that. So there's a discussion then between the cocoa shells and the rubber, correct?
Yeah, so I guess we're looking at everything. So we're coming back to the table and just understanding a bit more about all the different infills and to get an understanding of the different cost structures that go along with them, how that will affect the project, as well as collecting information on the crumb rubber and all the different infills as well to make sure we understand all of the studies that are out there and make sure that we're approaching this from a factual basis and making the best decision that we can with the facts that are available.
Okay, I would just want to emphasize that the town meeting vote was based on artificial field.
Yes.
For the football field.
Yes.
And I do not believe that there is any way to circumvent a town meeting vote without going back to another town meeting vote. I mean, they are the ultimate authority on these things. So we are moving ahead with the artificial fields.
Yes. So
Okay.
Grass it's wonderful. I do appreciate grass, but the playability of grass is really low. And that was one of the big purposes of going forward with turf fields, is that your playability goes from, somewhere in the neighborhood of 8 to 10 to even 12 weeks. You're going to 52 weeks a year that you can use those fields. And that's a huge increase in capability for students to be out and kids to be out playing on those fields. So the turf is really, we're still focused on that turf. We're definitely not going back to grass. And we will just look at the different infills and see what is the best fit for Norton.
Okay, because I would not want the voters of the town of Norton to say you sold us this and now you have backtracked to something else. And I think the building committee, school committee, conservation commission, planning board, anyone else who gets involved, needs to realize what the voters did, approve, and that we're trying to move forward in the best way possible.
We agree with that. Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, I'm very sensitive to maintaining a town meeting vote.
Yes. Yeah, we agree as well. It was very clear what town meeting wanted, and we're moving forward in that direction.
Okay, Jim?
Well, in keeping with your sensitivity, and we all understand it because some of us understand it more, I've gotten lambasted in the last 2 weeks about the tax bills coming out. And if our projects are what has made the tax bills go up, and I've tried to explain to people it's just the natural progression of taxes in the town. But the chairman came right out and said, well, if you need more money for the coconuts, I don't know if he's planning on going to Hawaii farm or what, go to the town meeting. There's a pot of gold there. You can get it whenever. He didn't say that. I'm paraphrasing.
No, please don't.
Point. But he said, go to the town meeting and get the money. Like it's such an easy thing to do. But
no, we have been to town meeting. We will not be going back to town meeting. They have entrusted us with a sizable amount of funds to complete these projects, and we will move forward. So the Conservation Commission is supposed to vote on the 24th on this?
Yes, I think Gail, like I said, Gail got that peer review 45 minutes before the meeting. So there was just nothing they could actually report on because they hadn't even reviewed.
No, that makes sense. Yeah. No, you need some time to digest everything.
So the 24th will be a great meeting to go to. That's when Gail they'll present what the findings of the review, any changes that had come up. And there'll probably be a very lively debate within the meeting.
And do you know what time that meeting is scheduled for, Matt?
I didn't see it posted, so I'm not quite sure. Yeah, I just know it's on the 24th.
Okay, I'm making a note on my calendar.
Yeah.
Okay. So is there anything else that you need to add?
No, I think that's pretty much where we're at this point.
Okay. All right, thank you. And thank you, Jim, for attending on behalf as a representative for the building committee.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks. Have a nice night, Matt.
You as well.
Okay, moving on to the town hall Council on Aging projects. I'm going to turn this over to Steve Kirby, our owner's project manager.
Good evening, everybody. We do have Michael Viveros here from DBVW also attending this evening, along with Mike Quinlan from Vertex Compass. Just since the last meeting, we did, right before Christmas, we received Michael's design fee proposals for both the town hall and the senior center project. We looked at it. We sent some comments back to him. He worked on those over the next week and submitted a revised fee proposal today that we've looked at before the meeting. Some of the items were more, some of our comments were clarifications. Some were some requests. We sort of worked through a bunch of things. So we've talked a couple times over the last few days. Essentially, the fee proposals have gone down in cost from the original submission. I'll talk about the town hall fee first. It came in as a, and the way I'm looking at it is that there are base services, and then there are typically add-on services, i.e. surveying, geotechnical, and so forth. We asked for certain what I consider add-on services to be part of their bid. So, but what I did is I looked at it from the base bid and then the add-ons on top of that. So base bid originally came in at roughly 11.25% of the construction budget of 17 million. Just using it as a method of evaluation, using the 17 million. We are now at 10.82, and then with some of the add-ons, it comes to 11.32. I did ask Michael to give us some pricing on some services that we may ask for, when we can probably do that, not necessarily tonight, but as an amendment, but essentially for acoustical evaluations and audiovisual design. So the town hall fee right now comes in at $1,924,251, and that includes architectural services, FF&E signage, and then your engineering disciplines, structural, MEP, FP, civil traffic, landscaping, service, hydrant flow test, geotech, cost estimating, hazardous materials review, code, and in the case of the town hall, an existing conditions survey and drawings of the existing town hall / fire station, because we have demolition and renovation work to do as part of that. So we've looked at it and feel comfortable with the fee that's been brought to us as of today. In regard to the senior center, it originally came in at about 10.9% of the using the $8 million construction cost. We are now at about 10.78%. And then I did the same evaluation with some of the add-ons. Our fee right now for the senior center is $901,978. Again, I asked for some options so that we could decide whether we want to have them do some work in regard to, again, acoustical and audiovisual systems for the project. So we do have those. Like I said, not necessarily looking to review and approve those tonight. Looking to what I'm saying is approve the fee for what we want as our base contract amount for both the town hall and the senior center. And right now, the construction durations, Michael, basically took a stab at what those would be in order to calculate the construction administration and closeout. Has that the senior center at a 12-month period and the town hall at a 17-month period, essentially because we really have a two-phase project there. We're going to be building the building, and then we're going to move out, and then we're going to do demolition and renovation work to the what ultimately be really the fire station, because the town hall won't be there anymore.
Do you have any questions?
Anybody have any questions? Yep.
Einer, I had one.
Yes, Mark.
How did those fees, Steve, relate to the study that was done? Oh, and something by DBBW.
Yes, I'm glad you mentioned, because I did get I didn't have them before, but I did get from town manager the last estimates that were done in February of 2021 by PM&C and CHA on the did the total project budget, but on the design costs. And really, I mean, I'll take, for example, the town hall, where we're at 1.924, CHA was at 1.886, and that was a full year ago. And we have some additional services that I don't see in their estimate. And in regard to the senior center, again, a year ago, CHA was 862 for AE services, and we are at right now at 901. So I think they're well within the numbers that were being looked at a year ago. Obviously, there's some escalation, and we have some additional services that we've asked for.
Okay.
Don, I have a question.
Yes, Brian?
First, I can't find the raise your hand thing. I thought it was on here, but I can't find it. Anyway, the existing town hall, once it's abandoned, what exactly is the scope there? I understand we're tearing off a section of the building, but then basically just closing in that wall, right? And that's kind of the scope?
Yes.
Because if it's
and there's
being
a few,
unoccupied, we don't have to do anything else to it. Right?
well, there's a few rooms that are affected where that wall comes off that will require
Okay.
some renovation work. But yeah, it's not renovation of the entire building. No.
No, just making it structurally sound and
Correct.
available to the fire
Putting
department.
an exterior wall on it, there's some windows and some doorways. And
So when you say due diligence, how much of that do we have to really do? If we're just doing that exterior wall, I don't think we have to do the whole building, right?
well, funny you should ask that, because we talked about it. And I asked the same question. And let me turn it over to Michael. Why don't you go over what we talked about yesterday on this, because I did understand it once we went over it.
Yeah. Well, hello, everyone. It's really a delight to be with you all again. Really looking forward to this. Thank you so much. Yeah. So as it relates to the existing town hall and the fire station, we could have the existing conditions Inc. Who prepare our existing conditions drawings. There is an option to have them do less, but often what happens is we have somebody do less, and then we get out there only to learn we wish we had drawn a little bit more. And it's just much more effective to have them go out there once and laser scan everything. They go out there with a laser scanner. They'll laser scan the outside, the inside, and then we just capture it all in one shot. And the laser scan alone, we'll go back to many times throughout our scope of work, not only to the drawings which they're going to prepare, but to the laser scan itself. And so And as we get into demoing part of the building, a lot of times we're chasing back, where there's a sub panel on this side and where does that go back to? And so we often find that we just want the entire floor plan, just so that, we just don't know where things are where the end part is, if you will, that we need to go back to. So our recommendation is to draw it all and just have it available. And, it's probably possible to save $1,000 or something, but it might be a mistake over the long term, only to have to spend $2,000 to get what we should have gotten the first time. So this is our recommendation, if you will, to just get it all the first time and have the information that we need. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I agree with that. And really the total amount from existing conditions is very small in the grand scheme of things. It was under $6,000, and them just being out there is a major portion of that cost.
Yeah.
I'd rather have it done once and done right than nickel and dime us farther down the road.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I just asked the question in case someone.
I think it was an excellent question. Because now I think it's out into the community and they'll know that we're pursuing every avenue. Okay, Steve, what would you like from the committee this evening?
I would like to get a vote of approval on DBBW's two proposals for what I'm calling the base services, but not including the options that we've asked for, so that we can proceed forward to putting together the two separate designer contracts between the town and the designer. And then hopefully we can schedule a kickoff meeting for, the very near future, knowing that we've approved the fees and really start going.
Okay. Jim, did you have a comment?
Of course. I just have a problem voting on something I can't see.
I was going to say the same thing.
I know we're just starting to get our hands dirty on this project, but we've got to have 110% communications between everybody. And I know you talked to Mike yesterday, and there's a shortage of time between, but I don't have, not that the costs mean anything to me, but it would be nice to see in my hands after I print it from being emailed, what the cost differences are. You went up in two things. You quoted cost rises. You also quoted that you saved some money somewhere else. We don't know where that happened. And technically, we're just voting on, I don't know what. We could just say, yes, Steve, it's not that I don't trust you because I like your jacket. But, it's just that I have to, I'm sorry, I have to see it.
Okay. It's a reasonable request to see how soon can we see a end copy of the proposed?
Okay, I mean, we got the revised proposal today, and there was one page that had to be corrected on it. But how is the best way to get that in your hands? I mean, I did do sort of a proposal summary that I could also forward with, showing what came in late December and what we got now. But I understand you want to see the two full proposals. So what's the best avenue of getting that out?
Well, if you could send me the finalized documents, then I can send them out to the committee.
Okay.
We can always have a 10-minute meeting, single agenda meeting, to approve this as soon as we've had time to look at the documents. So I don't think we would be holding things up. Is that okay with the committee?
Yeah, it's okay.
Works for me.
Mark?
Yep.
Jim? Yep. Okay.
Yes.
So we could do that and then possibly get together for, as I said, a single item 10-minute Zoom meeting, maybe next if you can get it to me this week, we can meet, say Tuesday night or something very quickly. Just to ask any final questions and then hopefully have an approval for you.
And just a reminder, if you're going to meet Tuesday, you have to post tomorrow because Monday's a holiday.
Oh, that's right, it is. Okay, Bob Briscoe?
I was just going to say, how soon can we do? Are we holding them up on the vote? Are we holding you folks up?
We at this point, we haven't scheduled anything yet. So,
Okay.
we can do the vote and then we can schedule what I would term as a kickoff meeting.
It's a kickoff meeting.
Okay.
Mark?
Yeah, I would, Steve, I just suggest you get the contracts all set and then just wait for the committee's vote to go.
Okay, and I've heard from Jack. He agrees with meeting next week to review the proposals and to vote. So, Mark, could you post a meeting for Tuesday evening?
What time? 6?
6? 6 works for everybody?
Yes.
Okay. And then we will, I'll put it on my calendar so I'll know to log in. Steve, if you could get those to me, and a week from now, we will have a vote and move forward.
Okay. Yeah, not a problem.
Okay. And I thank you, Jim, for pointing, this out, that we do. It's quite a project that we're moving forward with, and fiscal responsibility is paramount. So, okay. Anything else, Steve?
That's all I had on my my agenda for tonight.
Okay, well, I just had a technical question. You mentioned a kickoff meeting to really put the project on the rails. When do you
Yep.
see that? February, March?
I was looking to do that as soon as everybody could arrange it. I would like at that point. I know if we get approval on the fees, the contract is going to take a little bit to get signed. But I think, and Michael, correct me if I'm wrong, if you have approval on your proposals, you don't have an issue with starting to attend meetings.
Not at all. No, a notice to proceed would be absolutely sufficient.
Okay.
It's in order to particularly on the senior center, as we think about the overall design period and think about the winter season and all those kinds of things. It really is key to get started, and getting the survey released is super important to us. In terms of meeting the overall schedule, because we need surveys of both sites, and weather is a factor. We need, if we have a big storm, we can't survey, so this is detailed in our proposal, but it's so important that I'm able to release the surveyor as soon as possible. It's less critical for my team to be released as architects even, but we really want to get the surveyor released. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to start gathering information.
Right.
Yeah. And it takes time. It really takes time. Yeah.
Jim and then Brian.
Steve, you were very complete in your assessment of what you're doing for the town hall. Is there nothing that you've done on the community center, senior center part of the project?
In what regard? I mean, we know that we've got to. The first thing we got to do is go there and do a hazardous materials assessment. Besides the survey, we got to do the hazardous materials assessment of the structures that are there. We know that the garage is being used right now by the town for storage, so we're not gonna touch that initially, but we've got to know what we have to do with that house and the one small office structure that's there once we get to construction. And then we're, again, like Michael said, we're going to do the survey, and then, we've got feasibility studies. Then you're starting to look at, confirming the siting of the building on the site in conjunction with the road and you know, visiting on a sort of high level the program with the end users, and that I want as part of the kickoff meeting. We'd like members of what I call the end users of the building there to sort of participate in it. Not that we necessarily get into details, but we're setting up for meetings to confirm that, you know, the layouts are good or they need to be tweaked, and you know, just sort of get into the standard process for the design.
Yeah, just because we have septic design in the senior centers on a state highway, just you can imagine the approval process overall. We need a survey before we can do too much, and then the approvals are definitely time consuming. So it's just important that we get started as soon as possible. Yeah,
because we're going to have permitting with Mass DOT, you know, besides the permitting within the town. So
right. Yeah, a lot of steps,
extra steps, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you're not. But you
I'm
haven't
sorry,
started any of that, so, correct? You were just working on the town hall end of it? And if you haven't...
There's no work on the town
nothing
hall.
started.
Well, okay, I don't know the verbiage, but you just gave a report of 3 or 4 things you've done to progress with the town hall project. Correct?
No, that was just getting trying to get the contract signed.
Yes.
And the same thing with the Council on Aging. There has been no work done on either project until we sign a contract.
And
or issue a notice to, if I may, or just issue a notice to proceed.
Notice to proceed, yeah.
Yeah.
the other thing, Steve, if you want to take a 3x5 card, I know I'm still living in the 1980s, but the senior center wants to keep that garage if it's at all possible. And those of us that have seen the original plan seem to think that it's out of the way enough to not interfere with the parking area or the building, but when it comes down to the actual setting, it may have to be tweaked a little bit because the senior center has a lot of durable goods, and well, right now 2 departments in town, non-senior center, are using it, and I'm sure it's full. So obviously it's a necessity for the town, but I just want you to keep that in mind, that the small workshop, that's a disposable building. So nobody's really worried about that. So.
Yeah, I was told that before. And to be honest, I haven't even been inside the building to see what kind of condition it is. I've looked at the outside, I've walked the site, but we were aware that there was a preference to keep that obviously where it is. So we'll look at the siting of the building.
Yeah, we could take a look at that with you as well. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Work around it. Mm-hmm.
Okay, Brian, you had a question?
Well, one comment and then a question. I think both projects are on state highways, correct?
You know, oddly enough, my understanding is the town hall is not, the state highway ends and then picks up again, if I understand correctly.
Yeah, don't we tie into state infrastructure or no?
No, East Main Street is not a state highway. West Main Street is a state highway.
Okay, then the question I had was, Mike, the existing lot that the new town hall is going on, is that still occupied by the contractor that's doing the road work? And if so, when are they leaving? Because that may impact the survey.
Well, the town hall's not going on that lot.
It's next to it?
It's being
Behind
built
it.
behind the building.
Behind it? Okay.
Yeah, and
Right, that's fine. I thought it was the same one.
Okay.
Well, I think we probably will, there'll be some of the survey that they'll migrate to that point, but I mean, I've looked at it. It's not jam-packed with materials, so hopefully the survey will be able to work around it.
Okay. I was just curious, is that ongoing for another, 2 years or something?
hopefully not, but could be. I did tell him we plan on using that as a staging area, so better get moving.
Okay. That was it.
Okay.
We'll talk about that, Mike.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. So, Steve and Mike, if you could get together and decide when we're going to have our kickoff meeting.
Yep.
And then possibly Tuesday or so, we could, after, if the vote is affirmative, which I don't see why it wouldn't be, we can move forward and establish a date for that, especially so that you can get in and notify various departments who you need to speak to and what's going to go on, and set up meeting times.
I'm sure it's going to be, given what's going on now, it'll be a remote meeting,
Oh, yes, probably will.
which is fine. I mean, we've been doing it for a couple of years now, so. It seems.
Believe it or not. Yeah.
Okay, so the building committee then is going to meet next Tuesday at 6. Mark's going to post that. And then we have our formal building committee meeting. Next building committee meeting is February 14th, Valentine's Day, at 6 p.m. Mark, if you could, too many mics. If you could post that, I'd appreciate it.
Will do.
Jim?
Dinah, that's a Monday.
Yes, it is.
Mhm.
Is there any way we can push it to Tuesday, or
Tuesday.
I haven't broken my leg by then?
It's fine by me.
Skis.
Steve, how does that impact your schedule?
Well, at the moment, I don't see anything on for Tuesday, the 15th, but Tuesdays are usually very, very busy. I would say if we need to have it on Tuesday, we could definitely have it at 6. That's better because a lot of other meetings start at 7. So I'll make it work.
And Jim, this will just be through the ski season, correct?
Right.
Because you are,
By March, I'll be back to my regular schedule.
okay. Yeah, very good, because Jim is an active member of the Blue Hill Ski Patrol, and it's one of the EMTs that's up there, so to be Tuesday, the 15th, Mark, do you mind?
Tuesday the 15th, 6 o'clock.
Tuesday, the 15th, 6 o'clock. Okay, well, keeping with our tradition of brevity, is there any other business to come before the committee? Okay, the chair will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second it.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we will see everyone next Tuesday evening at 6. Same,
Thank you.
same place. Oh, somebody just entered the meeting room. Let me admit them so that they know we're logging off.
Leave it.
So, okay, Carol, I'm sorry, but we've just adjourned for the evening.
Okay.
So, okay, see everyone next Tuesday evening.
Good.
Good night.
Good
Good
night.
night.
Aye.